Hi, in this video, we will present a brief introduction to machine learning for absolute beginners. No knowledge of coding is needed. Uh, in order to understand the basics of machine learning, I have created this sample randomly generated demo dataset. And this dataset represents information about houses. So the second row represents one house, and in this house there are two bedrooms, there's one bathroom, there are four car spaces, there are solar panels in the house, and the price of the house is approximately 1.3 mil. In the second house, which is the third row, house number two, there are six bedrooms, there are four car spaces, there's one bathroom, the land size is 572, and there are solar panels in this house as well. And the price is approximately 1.4 mil. Um, some of the information about these houses, I have put them in a yellow background. So the columns from B to H, they are in highlighted in a yellow background. And the reason for that is that these variables are called as independent variables. The last column, which is the price, which is the price of the house, this column is known as a dependent column, or sometimes in the machine learning vocabulary, it's also known as the target variable. The hypothesis here is that the price, which is a dependent variable, is actually dependent on other variables, for example, the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, the land size, solar panels, so on and so forth. So, for example, if there are more bedrooms in the house, for example, house two, and if there's a swimming pool, the price of the house will be higher. If there is no swimming pool in the house, probably the price of the house will be lower. So the aim of the machine learning model is to come up with a mathematical formula which can be used to predict the target variable, that being price in this case. Now, with regards to the independent variables, there are two kinds of independent variables. The first one being, if you look at the first four variables, so number of bedrooms, bathrooms, car spaces, and land size, all these variables have got a numeric value. And so these variables are called numerical variables or continuous variables because they can take any value like 2, 3, 4, 5 for the number of bedrooms. Land size could be 500, 501, 502, so on and so forth. The other three independent variables, namely color, solar panels, green area, these are called categorical variables because these can take some category. So for example, solar panel can take either yes or no as the value. So there would be two categories present. The green area can have a category low, medium, high, and so there are three categories there. Now, within the categorical variable, there is another distinction, which is nominal categorical variable or ordinal categorical variable. If you look at the solar panel can be yes or no. If you look at the color can be white, gray, black, so on and so forth. In the color variable, there is no inherent order in these variables. So white is as good as gray, so on and so forth. However, if you look at the green area, the amount of green area in the locality, the values that this variable can take are low, medium, and high. And as you can see that there's an inherent order in there. So we can say that the house with a high green area will have more green space. A house with a low value in the green area will have a lower amount of green space. So these variables, these categorical variables, which have got an inherent order in them, they are known as ordinal variable. The categorical variables in which there is no inherent order in them, they are called nominal ordinal variables. So the another example of a nominal ordinal variable would be gender, for example. If you got a variable called gender, which could be a male or female, there's no inherent order in them. Okay, now once you have understood the data set, If the target variable that you're trying to predict, for example, price in this case, is a numeric variable or a continuous variable, so it can take numbers, which is the case with price here, those kind of machine learning models are called as regression models. If, on the other hand, I convert that, let's say I create a new variable called investment risk, and anything which is less than 1 mil, I put the investment risk as low. Anything more than 1 mil, I make the value as high. So the investment risk variable now can have only two classes or two values, namely low and high. If you wanted to create a machine learning model which will predict the investment risk category, then those machine learning models will be known as a classification model. If you wanted to create a machine learning model which will predict the price of house given the other variables for the house, for example, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, so on and so forth, those models will be known as regression machine learning models. Thank you very much. That was a brief introduction to what is a machine learning model for absolute beginners. Thank you.